Hey there and welcome. I'm Colin Scotland and welcome to today's talk where we've got an amazing gentleman with us today. We've got Joshua Bloom. Joshua was one of the first, in fact, one of the first business coaches ever to be featured on mainstream US media. And he is the creator of Quantum Energy Transformation. The stuff that Joshua shares is truly inspirational and it changes your entire outlook on life and on business. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Joshua into the chat. Let's bring him in. Hey, Joshua, how are you doing today?
Hey, Colin, I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's great to have you here with us today, Joshua, and I am so excited, right? Just your subject line of the talk, right? My experts say mindset is the thing, right? But they're wrong. And so I'm like, why? Tell me more, tell me more. Before we dive into that, do you want to just give me a bit of a fuller background as to who you are, how you got to where you are today, and give everybody a bit of an update on that? That would be cool.
Absolutely. Well, I started out many years ago as a business coach, and I worked with many people in the area of energy work. So I combined the two and moved forward in my life. And as I was moving forward, I began to feel anxious, and I started to have some of the issues that I was helping other people with. And when that came up for me, I didn't know what to do. So I started to really get into my work deeper to help myself. And while doing that, that's where I created Quantum Energy Transformation and created this energy work that allows you to make shifts and changes very quickly, if not instantly. It's pretty powerful because it's like you're making changes in the quantum field. So very much like quantum physics, this work relates to quantum physics because it's using the quantum field to help you make changes. The power of what I just said is this. When you make a change in the quantum field, you're making changes at higher levels of transformation. And that's something what we're going to talk about today, because when you make changes at higher levels of transformation, then, or in higher levels of energy, you actually create changes that are long lasting, that are very deep, and are not going to undo. They're not going to change. You know, a lot of people go and they do some healing or they do some transformation for themselves. And what happens? It changes back. And it undoes itself. And it's like, oh, I did all that work and now I got to do it again. In quantum energy transformation, we're making the change at a higher level of energy. And when you make the change at a higher level of energy, now we get permanent changes rather than changes that are wibbly wobbly, right? So I was able to do so many things for myself. There's so many issues that I had. I had a learning disability called dyslexia, in which I shifted. I shifted attention deficit disorder as well. I also had migraine headaches that I no longer get. I also had anxiety to a really big extent. And that anxiety was so bad. I mean, really bad. I wasn't functional a lot of the time when I was dealing with this anxiety. It was very debilitating and wow, just big. it was just all the time. I mean, there wasn't a time that I wasn't anxious. There wasn't a time that I was clear-headed. It was really, really difficult for me. So, I mean, just to give you an idea, is there are sometimes I couldn't like go outside of my house because I was so anxious to do that. So I had to change all of this. And how I ended up doing that was using the quantum energy transformation process that I created and move the energy at the root, which is actually in the cellular structure of the body, and created a quantum shift. And when that happened, I started to feel so much better and my life started to change. And, you know, understand, I would not have been able to do a call like this, for example, many years ago when I had that anxiety. I was so anxious, I wouldn't have been able to do this. So just getting on here and feeling it completely comfortable is huge.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And so I've got lots of questions bubbling up in my head, and I think I can be annoying sometimes, Joshua, in that I'm a little bit like a child, and I'm like, "Oh, so what does that mean? And what does that mean? And what does that mean?" And one of the first things that jumped up at me is the sense of quantum. You mentioned the quantum field, and I'm not a scientist. I don't understand. I don't really understand what that means. Can you kind of talk around that a little for us?
Yeah, quantum means cellular. So
Okay.
change is going to happen inside of the body, in the cellular structure of the body. You might think about it like this. Inside the body, there are packets of, actually, inside the body, there are cells. And inside those cells, we have information stored as packets of information, packets of energy. And that information comes from a lot of different places. For example, when you were born, you were gifted energy from both of your parents. And in that gift, some of it is useful and some of it is really not. And the reason that you're gifted with this information is quite interesting. It's so that when you're born into the environment in which you're born into an environment, and the gift of information is preparing you to live in that environment. So, for example, if your parents were nuts, well, then you nuts in the quotes, quotes, right? If they were like, driving you crazy, or they yelled a lot, or whatever it was, you were prepared for that before you were even born. You were also given information from your parents that is from their parents and their parents. It's just, it's sort of like information is infused in you as a gift inside of your body, so that you share the same information that your lineage has from your parents and their grandparents, from their parents and then your grandparents, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the power of that is interesting, because if you have all this information inside of you, and some of it's useful and some of it's not, you want to let go of what's not. But most people don't know how to let go of that information, and that's what I do. I teach people how to let go of the information that they've collected along the way. Now, just from your parents, you've received energy and information. But what happened when you were 3 and you fell off the swings? And what happens when you were 5 and your little brother or your bigger brother beat you up? What happens, all the things that happen in life? What happens when you went to school and you felt picked on? What happened when you forgot your homework? All of these little things add up, because how many of those little things do we have in our life? Like a million, right? So that too is stored as packets of information in your body. So when you have a trauma, when you have an issue, and if you have a trauma when you're a child, who remembers that? But it's stored in your cells. It's there for you. So what I do is help people release that information that's no longer serving them and allow them to get their life back.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And such a fascinating area as well. Hey, fascinating area.
Yes, yes, yes. But what's interesting is this relates to business quite interestingly, doesn't it? Because you are your business. And if you got a lot of stuff in you that's not really supporting you to make money, it's not supporting you to be organized and be ready to be that entrepreneur that you want to be. If you have things that are stopping you from moving forward, and I know we all have those things, right? We're moving forward, everything is okay, and then all of a sudden everything stops and you can't move forward, and you don't know why. And it's like, well, it was going great just a minute ago, and now it's not. What's happening? That's your stuff. That's our baggage, right? Our baggage comes up and it says, wait a second, you might get hurt. We don't want you to necessarily do that. Maybe you'll succeed, but if you don't, what happens? Your mind is getting you in trouble. So your mind keeps spinning around and trying to figure out, should you do this? Shouldn't you do this? And if you do, what will happen? And it's trying to protect you. And unfortunately, your mind is not always your friend. Although it's trying to protect you, it's also holding you back from living the life of your dreams and having everything that you choose to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this kind of fear mechanism, this thought that you're going to die, your mind just tries to constantly keep you stuck in your tracks, doesn't it?
It does.
In everything that we do. in business, in life, whatever the endeavor is, you'll always be told you're not good enough, you can't do it, don't do it, you'll die, in not so many words, right?
That's what your mind is saying. Yeah.
Yeah, your mind's kind of saying that to you, and it's that keeps you. A client of mine used the word frozen. I love that word because it is like you are frozen, isn't it? You're entirely frozen by those things that keep you trapped, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I'm curious to understand, Joshua, a little bit about when you talk about mindset, because we hear and we read and we see so much work around you've got to have a positive mindset, you've got to have a positive outlook, you've got to get your head straight, you've got to get your head together, right?
Be positive.
Yeah, be positive. All of these things that you hear and you see in the world around us. And so the title of your talk had me intrigued, and you talked about the sense of identity, and it just kind of had me super curious to learn a little bit more about that, what that means.
Absolutely. Well, what you just said a minute ago is very interesting. It's our mind that's getting us to feel stuck and we're not moving forward. And it's all about this idea of mindset. And when we think about mindset, people say, "Oh, just feel better. Just be happier. Just change your mind and get your mind in gear. If your mind's not in gear, then you're not going to be good." So everybody's focused on get your mindset going, get in good mindset, and that's all good. But where's the how part? It's like, yeah, everybody's telling us to get into a good mindset. And everyone's saying, yeah, you should be in a good mindset, and having a good mindset would be good. But how do you do that? And it's like, wow, there is no how. It's just do that.
Yeah, and it's kind of impossible, or it feels impossible, doesn't it? You can how can you do what you don't know how to do?
Well,
It just
you
feels
can't.
like,
So
yeah.
then, so people are saying, these business coaches out there are saying, you need to have a really good mindset. You need to have your mindset in check, and then the problem is we don't know how to get into that mindset. And that is worse because we know what we need to do, but we don't know how to get there. And so now we're looking for, well, how do I change my mindset? Well, the problem is this. What changes your mindset? What is it that actually changes your mindset? For example, whatever mindset you already have, something created that mindset, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's a mixture of the two, whatever your mindset is, it was created by something, right? And a lot of times our mindset is actually created by how we lived our life, whether we have a lot of trauma in our life, whether we are feeling anxious. I mean, if you're anxious, what is your mindset, right? Your mindset is fear. Wow, it's just amazing how many different ways our body and our mind especially is keeping us distracted in our stuff. And therefore, our mindset is going to be a combination of what we want it to be and our stuff. And unfortunately, you say, well, get the stuff out of there. Get that stuff out of there. So the thing that actually changes mindset, which is very, very interesting, is your identity. That's right. In order to change your mindset, you can't just say, I'm going to be happier. I'm going to be more pleasant. I'm going to be more relaxed. I'm not going to be anxious. I'm going to be doing these things and not doing these things. And yeah, you could have good intentions, but what gets those intentions that you have to actually be your reality? And that is identity. So who are you? Who are you? And who are you capable of becoming? Now, one of the things that's interesting about mindset is we think that our mind is what we have to change. It really isn't. Your mind is a follower, not a leader. It's an interesting thing, right? Your mind is a follower, not a leader. Your mind will follow you if you are in charge of your life. Now, if you are not in charge of your life, then your mind will drive you crazy. Okay? If you're not in charge of your life, your mind will start to decide to be in charge of your life. That's how your mind works. So we call that ego, right? So the ego is going to be up front if you're not taking charge of your life. So when you don't take charge, your ego pops up in the front and your mind says, I'm in charge. I look at this like the dog whisperer. Have you ever seen the dog whisperer?
Yes, 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 I have.
So, I remember when the dog whisperer went to Oprah's house, and the funniest thing, Oprah was trying to get her dog to sit. Her dog didn't do anything Oprah asked the dog to do. And then comes in Caesar, who's the dog whisperer. He comes in. He doesn't even say sit, and the dog just sits.
Mm.
And I think that's so funny. It's like he didn't even say sit, and Oprah's looking like, what did you do to my dog? My dog was like unreasonable just 2 seconds ago. You walk in and boom, my dog sits, and you didn't even tell him to sit. It's so funny how energy works. So what Caesar does is he changes his energy, and when his energy changes, the dog responds differently. And how Caesar does it in his system is all about becoming the alpha dog, very similar to what I was saying about being in charge of your life, right? Being the alpha dog. So he becomes this alpha dog energy, and the dog knows just by the energy of it that they're now the follower because the alpha dog has arrived. And that's what happened when Caesar went into Oprah's house and had that energy, and the dog just listened. The dog just followed. And I thought that was quite an interesting discovery, because I kind of think about our mind as being that unruly dog, right? Our mind will just be unruly and will start to go crazy. It will give us negative thoughts. It will tell us we should do this when we really shouldn't. It will make us want to do bad habits like drink or smoke or do other things that are not so great. Our mind will tell us to take risks that are not risks we should be taking. Our mind goes on and on and on and decides to rule what you do when you're not in charge of your life. When you're not the alpha dog, your mind, which is the ego, becomes in charge. So either you're going to choose to be in charge of your life, or your mind will be in charge of your life. Now, the next question is, Joshua, how does that happen? How do I get my mind not to be ego and to be submissive like the dog did when Caesar walked into Oprah's house? Very, very simple. You're going to put your awareness lower in your body. See, when your awareness is up here in your head, what do you think you get? Mind, right? You get a lot of mind stuff. When you directly go to mind, you get ego. And all of that comes with ego, which we don't like, because ego is not your intuition. Ego is not the part of you that knows what's best for you. Ego is ego. It has all the stuff in it that it decides to tell you. It's sort of like this. Your mind will give you an answer when you ask a question. It may not be a great answer, but it's going to give you an answer. That's what your mind is designed to do. Your mind is designed to give you answers, but it's not designed to necessarily give you good answers. Where do we get good answers from? Yes, our intuition, our spiritual side of us, our balanced and relaxed side of us. So when we're like, all the gears are moving, that's not where you get the information to move forward. So most people in business make rash decisions that they don't realize they're making as rash decisions because they are following the ego but don't even know they're doing it. And that's because our attention is up here. So when we bring our attention down the body to the base of the spine or lower, well, that changes everything, because that shifts your energy. Remember I said Caesar changed his energy to be the alpha dog. This is how we do it as a person rather than a dog. So you're going to bring your attention down to the base of your spine or lower. It could be under your feet. It could be at the base of your spine or anywhere in between. There's really no rules about it. You just don't want it on your chest. You just don't want it on your stomach. You don't want it below your belly button. You want it right at the base of your spine, which is the tailbone, or under your feet or anywhere between those 2 points. When you bring your attention lower in your body, you get grounded. Now, there's another thing that dogs do that ground them, and that's growl, right? Now, what does a dog do when the dog growls? They get into a stance, right? The dog gets into a stance. So your dog is getting into this stance. And now that the dog is in this stance, the dog is grounded. And the growling actually helps the dog get grounded as well. So now that's why the dog can ground themselves by growling and getting into a stance. Well, as humans, we can growl too, but kind of looks funny. You can just put your awareness at the base of your spine, which is really what dogs are doing when they're grounding. They're getting their energy lower in their body, and they're grounding themselves. When you ground yourself, you get out of your head and you get into your body. Now, to explain this a little bit deeper, if you were to go experience something like yoga or Tai Chi, you are getting grounded. But I like a deeper level of ground called being in your body. And what that means is that you're actually bringing in your energy down to the lower parts of your body so you can be not just grounded, but really connected to your higher self, connected to you fully, being totally present. I remember many years ago, I would read books on how to be more connected, how to be more present. There's so many books out there. Eckhart Tolle is one of them that has a book out there about connection to yourself. And the thing is that I couldn't find in any of these books how. The how problem is not there again. And so it's like, well, how do I be present and in the moment? That would be a good thing to be. How does that happen? So this is what I'm showing you. When you get into your body, you're putting your attention to the base of your spine or lower, and you're getting grounded. And that's where you get the connection to your higher self and to yourself. It also physically is a grounding. You feel heavier in your legs and you feel more stable and secure, just like the dog does, right? So the power of shifting your attention lower in your body creates a shift in your mindset. So you think you have to change this, but you really just need to change your attention, where your attention is. So if all you're doing is blah, 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 all day, it looks just like that, then you're going to be in your head, and ego is going to be running the show, and you're going to be making decisions in which you didn't, and you're going to be stuck and not be able to move forward, and you're going to have negative thoughts and all those things. All of that stops when you get out of your head and back into your body. So can I take you through an exercise?
I was just going to ask you the very same, man. Yeah, I would love that. Would love that.
Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a ball of energy in your hand, in both of your hands. And in that ball of energy, can you put just some love in there? Wouldn't that be nice, just to have some love energy? You could put healing energy in there. You could put you at your best. Ooh, I like that. Could you just put yourself in there, like when you're your best you? How about when you're excited and when you're energized and when you're relaxed at the same time? When you're feeling good? Yeah, put all that in there. Taking a deep breath. Take that ball of energy and just put it right above the top of your head and let it sit there right at the top of your head. Good. Now, let that ball go down. Just drop into the top of your head. Let it go down and then behind your eyes. You can close your eyes if you like. Passing your throat. There you go. And now going down, bring that ball down past your heart. Breathing is good. Going down, passing your upper stomach and your lower stomach, and going down to the base of your spine. And just taking a deep breath. Whew, and feel your energy all the way at the base of your spine. Now, you can keep it here if you'd like. It works just great here. But if you feel you'd like to try or put your attention under your feet, just move that ball down your legs. It can go down both legs at the same time. And just let it go down until it gets under your feet. Now, I prefer it here. I prefer under the feet just because I feel more grounded that way. But different people feel differently. So there's no right or wrong. If you feel more grounded with your attention at the base of your spine, do that. If you feel more grounded with your attention under your feet, do that. Both are really effective, and everybody feels it differently. So see which one you like the best. When I put my attention under my feet, I just feel so, I don't know, I feel taller and more awake and more alive. And I feel like, woo, right? So did you do that, Colin?
I did.
Yeah, your voice changed.
Mm,
You hear it?
mm.
You have more
I can,
awareness.
and that monkey mind, that chatter seems quieter somehow.
Yes, yes. So
Mm.
it's very, very simple. Now, don't make it complicated. this is where people get stuck, because the mind gets involved and says, well, this doesn't make sense. I don't know why we're doing this. What are we doing? Okay. So when that happens, that means you're not at the base of your spine or under your feet. So then you're going to bring that ball back down and get down to the base of your spine or under your feet. You don't need to know why it works. You don't need to know how it works. All you need to know is that it works. And the mind will quiet down. And then you can say, I'm in charge of my life. But don't say it from here. Don't say it from here. Say it from the base of your spine. So come from here, from all the way down the base of your spine, and say, I'm in charge. Or I'm the alpha dog. Go ahead, Colin, say it.
Oh, I'm in charge, man. I'm in charge.
Yeah, great. So when you're in your body, you might feel that your legs are heavier, that you feel taller, that you feel more confident. Yes, because when you're here and you're in charge, now you have a different sense of control in your life. And now we can take that to who are you being? So who were you being when you were in your head earlier? And now who are you being differently now that you're in your body, because you put your attention at the base of your spine or under your feet? Interesting, right? So where you put your attention matters. And when you put your attention lower in your body, you become more in charge, changing the energy of you so that now you are in control of your mindset from a different perspective. And this gets quite cool, right? Because if you're in charge of your life and then you're in charge of your business, because you are your business, and you're in charge of everything that you're doing because you put your attention lower in your body, now you control your mindset differently. You don't have to figure out how to get your mindset to be what you want it to be. Simply by putting your attention lower in your body, you'll automatically become happier, more joyful. You'll become more focused, actually. You'll become more excited about things, and you'll become more confident. Now, that's one of the biggest things. The biggest reasons that people in business don't succeed is because they are scared. There is some fear that shows up, and they're not willing to move forward. Well, I'd love to, be in a talk show, or I'd love to, be in a telesummit, or whatever it is that you want to do. And we say, yeah, I'd love to do that. And you find every which way to make that trip longer. Right?
Yeah, to avoid doing it, right?
Yes, exactly. We can certainly find ways to really get in the way of that without even knowing that we're getting in the way. And we think it's other things. We say, oh, it's all these external things that are making it do that. And really it's not. It's us. We're doing it on purpose, unconsciously, because we want to feel safe. So when you put your attention in your body, or I'm sorry, at the base of your spine or under your feet, and you become in charge of your life and your business from this perspective, now the fear is either less or gone. So how will you move forward differently if there's no fear? Quite a bit different, right? So this is quite different than meditation. Meditation is all about getting into trance. This has nothing to do with getting into trance. Now that I've said that, you may go into trance when you put your attention at the base of your spine, but the goal is not trance. The goal is your attention lower in your body and your energy shifting. But you might go into some sort of a trance. Now, we go into trance when we drive our cars. We go into trance when we're sitting on a train. We go into trance when we do lots of things in our life. Trance state is a very common state that we end up getting into. You know, if you were in school and you were the one that daydreamed and the teacher called your name 3 times and you're like, oh yes, I was listening, you know. Okay.
That was me. Colin, what are you doing at the back?
So that's a trance state also. So but putting your awareness at the base of your spine may cause trance, but it's not the outcome. The outcome is to get in charge of your life, in charge of your business, feel more confident, get the fear to go away so that you can move forward. You can move forward easily when nothing's stopping you. And that's the power of just what we just did today, getting into your body and getting strong like the alpha dog so you can be in charge of yourself, you can be in charge of your business, and you can do the things that you've been scared to do, and now you'll be able to do them. Now, the key to this is, yeah, you can put your attention at the base of your spine or under your feet, but the key of it is not one time, right? So we want to get this to be a way of living, a way of being. Like, for example, I asked you a question, who are you being when you were in your head versus who are you being when you got into your body? Because who you're being is quite different in those two places. And when you realize that who you be when you're in your body allows you to shift your mindset easily and be able to maneuver your business in directions well beyond your wildest dreams, that's the power of this work. So you want to start incorporating it into your life. See, I don't like the word practice. So we use the word incorporate it into your life because it's not fun to practice, but it's so fun to incorporate things. So, so incorporate this into your life during your downtimes. If you're waiting in line, you're doing nothing else anyway. And waiting is kind of boring, but being is not boring. So put your attention at the base of your spine and just be in the moment and enjoy the experience of being for that moment. It also reduces your stress, by the way. Now, if you're in a waiting room, that's another opportunity. If you're traveling, that's another opportunity. Now, if you're driving, please keep your eyes open. Okay, you can put your awareness at the base of your spine because you're in trance anyway when you're driving, but make sure that you don't get too tired. Okay, because that's, you know, if you're feeling too tired, then don't do that. Just be, you know, keep safe is what I'm saying. The key here is that when you have downtime, and we have a lot more downtime than you might think, you know, when we have in between appointments, in between things that we're doing, all the time we have downtime, and that time can be very useful for beingness. And let's just say you recharge from this, right? Because every time you get into your body, you recharge. Imagine recharging in between your appointments, recharging in between the things that you're doing all the time. And then this becomes a way of being, not something you're doing. And when you're being from this perspective, then you can allow your mindset to shift, because automatically it shifts. You don't have to do anything. It's not like you don't need a how in this case. The how is put your attention at the base of your spine or under your feet and feel the confidence, feel the better energy. Breathing is good too. You can breathe with that. But the key is to be in that place more often than not. And when you're in that place more often than not, that's where you're going to shift your business, because now your mindset is automatically changed. You don't have to do anything but keep your attention low in your body. And that takes you to a new level without even having to figure out how to do it. So the how is already there. So I want to be clear. I don't want to be like one of those books who tells you you should do this and then not give you how to do it. The how is being in your body. We already told you I already taught you how to do that. And once you're in your body, then automatically your energy shifts. Your energy frequency rises. Your attention is low in the body, so you're grounded and sure of yourself and confident. That's the you know you can be. And that's the you that's going to make you thousands and thousands of dollars this year in your business. That's the you that's going to move past a block that you've been having for the last 2 years. That's the you that's going to surprise you in so many ways and how amazing you truly are.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Joshua. I appreciate that. Can I ask a question? And this is the little child in me again,
I
curiosity.
love that little child. Ask away.
So in that place of I understand the idea of incorporating this into your daily life, right? And so I meditate every day without fail, and people say, oh, I've not got time for this, I've not got time for that, and then yet we will, we will visit the bathroom, we will be stood in line, we will travel, we will walk from one room to another. There are so many dead spaces in our day, aren't there, in our routine, that we can utilize. So I loved how you said about standing in line, right? And standing in the line is boring, but beingness is the opposite of boring.
Right.
So finding all of these opportunities is so critical in being able to incorporate this, right? So I love that. I love that sense of using dead space. When it comes to sorry?
You got to make it fun too.
Of course, of course.
It's kind of fun when you're feeling better. You wake up in the morning and you're like groggy and you're not really ready for the day. Put your attention in your body at the base of your spine, and you'll wake up and it'll be amazing. And then make your life fun. Play with this in a fun way, because that always makes it better.
I love that, because I'm always telling my clients to be playful, right? Be playful with this stuff, because it makes everything so much more interesting and energetic and enjoyable, right? That's what this life is all about. So when you are in the motion of getting your attention to the base of your spine and being in that, you're in that, what they call the seat of self, you're in that place of beingness, right? Is it in that place that you start to define and explore possibility? You talk about belief, about identity, and saying that you talked about who are you capable of becoming. Is it in that place where you start to explore? Is that how you kind of take this forward? I'm curious, man. I need to know.
Oh, that's a good question. So I think it's important to say that simply by moving your attention low in your body and out of your head, that's the shift itself. There's no more work that's needed to happen. Now, to explore, of course, you can explore and play with this a little bit. Asking yourself the question while you're in that place, who am I capable of becoming? And see what arises out of that question. While you're in the beingness, right? While you're being, discover what the beingness has to tell you. See, that's where your intuition comes from. See, your intuition doesn't come from here. Your intuition comes from low in the body. So when you're quiet and you're connecting to yourself and just being, like I taught you to do today, when you're there asking a question like that, who are you capable of becoming? Then that's where the insights show up. You don't even have to answer the question, the answers will show up. And when the answers show up and they tell you, what the next step is, you'll just have ideas. Sometimes you'll just wake up in the morning with a million ideas, right? Or you'll just be like, oh my God, where's the pen? You need to write it down. So when you're being, you get more intuition showing up for you all the time. Have you ever done this? Have you ever taken some time to take a break from work? You've been working so hard. Maybe you just sit down and watch TV, or you take a bath, or you go for a walk, or you just do something that is relaxing to you. Mm-hmm. Did you ever notice during that time, good stuff would happen? Like you put your business aside, and now you thought you did, and now all this good information. Oh, you should do this, and you should do that, and you should do this. All this great insights start to show up. That now you're like back to work, because you're now trying to write down all the things that are coming to you. That
ping, 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 ping.
Make your life, make your business exciting, and make it what you want it to be. Well, imagine having that happen all the time without you having to go and relax to do it. Just simply by putting your awareness at the base of your spine, that's what happens. You get more insights all the time. And then you can just write down, oh, good, that was a good idea. Let's write that down. Oh, that was a good idea. Let's write that down. They just keep coming. And then you can review those ideas and see which one of them is the right way to go right now. Or maybe there's a couple of them you want to explore. And that's what makes your business amazing. If you utilize the power of your intuition, to manage and forward your business, you will be much better off than if you use your mind to do it. Because like I said before, your mind is designed to give you answers, but the answers may not necessarily be good ones. So if you follow what your mind says to do, probably you go in the wrong direction. But you're always guided by your intuition. But you don't always have access to that. You don't have access to that when the ego is up front. The ego says, oh, forget intuition. I'm in charge, right? So, say, ego, it's okay. I'm in charge of my life right now. Ego, you step aside. How do you tell your ego that? You put your attention to the base of your spine. You get into that confident place. And now the ego says, oops, alpha dog's here. I got to be good.
The ego is like that dog in Oprah's house, right? Sits down with its tail between its legs.
Yes. Ego is Oprah's dog. and then when you're in charge, your ego just sits down. Okay, I'll listen.
I love that. So I guess the power in all of this is in that incorporation of taking moments to be able to focus your attention. I love Jordan Peterson says energy flows where attention goes, and this kind of fits that, doesn't it? Where you take every opportunity to put your attention lower in the body so that you are in a place of beingness rather than in the reactive, like franticness that is your mind, right?
Well, think about what you just said. Energy flows where your attention goes. So if your attention's here, you're going to have energy flowing here. What's here? Mind. So you're going to get a whole lot more of mind, right? But if you bring your attention low into the body at the base of the spine, then you're going to get a lot more of grounding. You're going to be out of mind, but you're going to be in body and connection. So when you're in the body and in connection, that's where your intuition is activated. That's where you're not stressed. When you get stressed at work, it's not because of the work. It's because where your attention is. If your attention is all up here, your mind stresses you out. But when you bring your attention low in the body, you can have the exact same things happening at work, but you won't be stressed. That's a powerful thing to consider because most of us are stressed every single day. So when we're stressed, we have to remind ourselves, get into the body. 2 minutes of just being at the base of your spine. You don't have to label it anything. You don't have to call it meditation or anything. Just put your attention to the base of your spine for 2 minutes and then go back to work. You will realize that you don't need as many breaks, and you'll get more efficient just simply by doing that.
And even I remember one of my first mentors a few years ago teaching me about just basic like breathing and taking time out and settling down. And it was a very similar process. It was based around meditation, but the process is the same, isn't it? Of just taking time out, set a 2-minute timer on your phone and go through that process of strengthening the muscle. I've heard it talked about, right? Strengthening the muscle of being able to be in the body. I guess it's the same. It's a similar thing, isn't it? You practice.
Not the same.
Yeah.
It's similar, but not the same. It's similar in the sense that you're taking a break, which is good to do no matter what. But there's a big difference between being in your head and being relaxed and being in your body and being relaxed. The response in the body is very different. So for example, hypnosis is something that people know a lot about. Hypnosis, which is basically the same thing as meditation, just someone's talking to you instead of you talking to yourself. So meditation or hypnosis happens, and you don't necessarily have to be in your body to experience hypnosis. You have to be in trance. That's what you have to be in. So in meditation, you don't have to be in your body either. You have to be in trance. See, hypnosis and meditation is trance work. It is meant for you to be in trance to get the result. Now, there's nothing wrong with trance, but trance is not nearly as fast as when you're in your body. So when you're in your body, not only will you be in trance, because that happens naturally just the same anyway, But you're going to be connected to yourself and have access to your intuition. You're going to have access to your strength. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel more awake. You're going to feel more alive. Meditation doesn't do that. Meditation can be calming, but it doesn't make you feel excited and calm at the same time. So this is a little bit different. It causes a little bit of actually a big difference in the result. It's so powerful to be able to do this. But I want to make those distinctions because not to say meditation is right, wrong, good, or bad. It's none of those things. But what we're talking about isn't meditation. And what we're talking about gives you results that will surpass what meditation can do for you. And the time also. Meditation, you might need, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. You could do this for 2 minutes and get a huge result. So the length of time is also different when you're in your body. Because when you're in your body, you're in the quantum field. So you're connecting to yourself, you're connecting to your higher self, and you're connecting to the quantum field all at the same time. So the quantum field is a field that allows the principles of quantum physics to be in effect. So that's the cool part, right? So what might be possible when you're not in the quantum field is going to be different when you're in the quantum field. So what's not possible outside of the quantum field becomes possible in the quantum field. And the reason that it does is because you're in full connection with yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit. Everything is at work all at the same time. Make sense? Versus just a part of you. I don't like it when we just have a part of us being connected. I mean, if you can be in connection with your mind, but wouldn't you want to be in connection with your mind, your spirit, your body all at the same time so that you can work as an entire one unit piece that's actually doing something in one motion together to create a result, rather than just one part of you doing something. It's not as effective if just one part of you does something. So it's all about whole body and whole energy being, in a sense, moving you forward, rather than just one part of you doing something. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense, yeah. And I can see how it can be so powerful because it really opens up infinite possibility, right?
Yes, and that's where the goodness comes in, because like we were talking about before about asking yourself a question like, who are you capable of becoming? You can also ask yourself a question like, what's possible for you? Or what's possible next? Or what's possible? What are the possibilities I should be considering now? When you're in that place of beingness and you ask those types of questions, now you're going to be getting big picture answers that will lead you to what the picture is. So it's a very powerful way to move forward. Most of the time we're looking at the little picture. What's my next task? How do I do the next thing? The little next thing that I need to do. Oh, I need to make a website. I need to make an opt-in page. I need to do whatever, right? That's not where we want to start that. The opt-in page and the website and all that stuff should come from the top, not the bottom. So in a sense, getting your website done should mean that there should be a purpose and a bigger meaning behind just doing it. And that comes from what we're doing, getting into the body, connecting to yourself, connecting to your whole system, and allowing that to work together for you all at once. And from that perspective, now you're asking yourself this question of what's possible for me, or what's possible next. And what happens is you get the intuitions that say, you need to make a website because that's going to give you a presence to everybody, and presence is what it's all about. So and then you'll get the next piece. So the next piece will come to you and it will say, now that you have the idea of the website, what's meaningful for you to put these things in place? Like the pages for the website, the how to get customers, all that stuff will come from the beingness, not from the strategy. We tend to work from the strategy of things. And when we work from the strategy of things, then we get into what's called outdated strategies, outdated things. It's not outdated if you get it from your beingness. it can be outdated if you get it from a strategy, because a strategy works for a period of time. And then what happens in our market? We all know it. It changes. It never stays the same. So how do you know when the market in your industry changes? You don't. You don't know until it's too late, usually. So working from your beingness is the only way that you can really maneuver your business and be in charge of the whole thing and not be using outdated processes and moving forward in ways that will allow you to succeed well beyond what you could even imagine.
Wonderful, powerful, powerful stuff, man. And unlocking limitless potential, right? Unlocking the limitless possibility, infinite opportunity. And being in that energy is it feels exciting just saying it, right? It feels exciting just saying it.
Absolutely, it does. And when you feel that feeling, remember, it's the feelings that we have in our body and our energy system that make us feel motivated to move forward, that give us the energy to actually do the things we need to do. So just by doing things, you can't actually get there. You need to have the energy that's driving it. What drives you to succeed? What drives you to create the best business in your life? What drives you to create the best you in your life so that your business will shine? So it's a whole thing, right? It's not just one thing. So mindset is all great. There's nothing wrong with mindset, but you can't just say, I want to have a good mindset and magic, it happens. It doesn't work that way. Although what I'm telling you is pretty close, right? So when you put your attention at the base of your spine and you get into your body, and now your mindset and your energy frequency and everything gets higher and better and you feel good, now we call upon yourself to continue to be in that state of beingness. And then the more you do something, the better you get at it. So the more that you are in the beingness, the more stronger the beingness will be for you. And when that gets better and better, it gets easier and easier. That's just how it works.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Joshua. I think there's some amazing tips there just to get out of that rat race that is the mind, that we oftentimes find ourselves without even realizing it. We're battered from pillar to post by the noise that goes on in our heads, right?
Absolutely.
So I love the idea that in like 2 minutes rather than 20 or 40, you can be grounded, you can be in the body and make decisions that are going to have a positive impact on what you do, but also the work that you do in other people's lives, right? That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. This is the big stuff that we don't tend to think about. We tend to think about websites and things that we need to do in our business because someone says we need to do them. What I'm talking about is having your energy system be working for you to create not only the you want, but the business that's going to be amazing, and having an energy where you don't feel tired all the time. So if you're feeling tired a lot, it's because you're in your head. So getting out of your head gives you more energy, and then you get more motivated and you get more excited and you start coming up with new ideas, and those ideas come into reality because you're so excited to do them, you can't think of anything else. So that's the energy and the place you want to be at. If you don't feel like you're there, I hope you're listening to this because this is really an eye-opener, a new possibility for you to live and behave and experience and open the doors to your business in a whole different way of being. And from this place, really things happen in so many beautiful and positive ways. It's just amazing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Joshua. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day today to chat with us and share this wisdom with the world. It is a joy and a pleasure, as always, to chat with you. So just before we wrap up and finish here today, Joshua, how can people kind of find out a little bit more about you and the work that you do and connect with you online?
Well, you can go to a couple places. One is you can go to quantumhealingcenter.com. That's quantumhealingcenter.com. That would be a great place to go. Also, if you just want to email me, you can send me an email to help help@beingquantum.com. That's help@beingquantum.com. You can also, Colin, you and I are doing a program called Rock Six Figures.
We sure are. We sure are. Yeah.
This is a business program that Colin and I are doing together in an effort to bring some of this new technology to everybody so that you can actually have access to getting into the beingness so that you can create a six-figure income for yourself and just rock it. And we call it Rock Six Figures. And I think our website is rock6figures.com, isn't it?
Sure is. Yeah. rock6figures.com.
Like, woohoo! Yes, rock6figures.com. Go to there, and that's I think that's all spelled out, isn't it? Or is there a number 6?
Yeah, it's all spelled, all letters, ROCKSIX. Yes, figures.com.
Rock, so just no numbers, just use all letters, rock6figures.com. And
Wonderful.
Maybe we'll see you in our experience of what do you call that? A mastermind. There we go. Lost the word for a second. Our mastermind is really, really powerful. What I find to be magnificent about it is that we're not only bringing new technologies to show you how to rock your business, but we're also giving you the strategies. So it's important for you to have strategies to be able to move forward, but we attach that to the beingness, to the identity, to your purpose. So everything is in alignment with what you're doing versus just doing the techniques or just doing the strategies. Because if you just do the strategies, great, you know how to do it. But unfortunately, you don't have the meaning and the energy behind it, and you don't feel excited. So that's the problem. So the power of what we're teaching is to exponentially supercharge your business in a way that allows you to create a six-figure income called rock6figures.com. Thank you for putting it up there, Colin. That's all.
You're welcome. You're welcome, my friend. Thank you again, Joshua, for taking the time out of your day to chat with everybody today.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. And yeah, wonderful, wonderful. I am going to be getting my attention in the base of my spine before the next segment now. So thank you so much for your time. Everybody, check out Joshua's work. The guy is truly amazing. And make sure that you take those opportunities in the dead space to bring your attention into beingness, into the base of your spine, because new possibilities will open up for you, for your life, for your business. And that is a wonderful thing that we all are looking to achieve. So hope you've enjoyed our chat today. We've got another talk happening in about 30 seconds from now. So make sure to tune into that one on the channel. Okay, all the best. See you soon, guys. Bye.